Hello and welcome to the picturesque setting of Locket in the Czech Republic. Right in the west of the country, we're not that far from the German border, as you can see. Temperature about 24 degrees, but not as humid as it was a week ago when we were in Germany, close to Dresden, not a million miles away from here. And this Locket circuit, known as the Serpentine, or the Serpent, due to its twisty nature, playing host to round 14 of the FIM MX2 Motocross World Championship. It's been pretty warm since we arrived here all weekend as well. We're about 150k from Prague, the capital. And I guess we could talk about the history of the circuit when we first came here, past winners, etc. But the reality is that history is about to be made here again, as current MX2 points leader and defending world champion Jeffrey Herlings is on the verge of claiming his second consecutive world title. Coming into this 14th round, the Dutchman has so far won 52 races in his meteoric rise to stardom, along with 28 Grand Prix victories, 13 of those actually coming in 2013 alone. And he's won all but 2 races this year, and you would have to be a brave person to bet against him winning again here. But he's still got 2 35-minute plus 2-lap races to go, and he needs to finish ahead of his teammates, or have his teammates finish ahead of him and just finish right behind him to secure that title. So as you look at the circuit, Herlings can win both races. Of course, he's going to be world champion, because he already has 159 points advantage over his teammate. He needs to leave here with more than 100 points, or 150 points. We're getting ready to go down the waiting zone. Here's Amy.
We saw many of the riders last weekend struggle with the heat. I can tell you now it's not that much cooler down here on the start line today, but the main talking point of this GP is obviously that man right there behind me, Jeffrey Herlings, going after his second world title at the age of 18. His team manager, Stefan Everts, joins me now. Stefan, how's the feeling in camp this week?
Well, really good. Of course, there's a bit of extra stress for this GP, but in general, I think Jeffrey is still quite relaxed. And yesterday had a good qualification race. His start was not that great, but he came through the pack and he took his time. And I see he's confident. And let's go.
What he can do. He's desperately trying to earwig at the back of us here, but I'm going to ask you a cheeky question now. From an outsider's point of view, it seems like this year we see a more mature Jeffrey. He seems a bit less hot-headed inside and outside the race. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would fully agree. He got his driver license this year, so he started to be a bit more independent, but he came more quiet, and maybe he's listening a little bit more. Also the effort as the whole team we've put inside of him in the last 3.5 years is slowly also paying off, and he's coming slowly more mature, and it's more and more fun to work with him.
Thanks, Stefan. Best of luck for the team this weekend.
Thank you very much.
That's all from us here on the start line.
And then now though, we're going to take a look behind the scenes at Czech Eska Motorsports Honda.
Alex, only 2 years out of European, suddenly out of nowhere this year, you've come on leaps and bounds. Would you say that you're probably the most improved rider of the paddock this year?
If you say that, for sure, it's nice to hear. The season actually wasn't that good, you know. The bike was not ready, I was not ready. And after Thailand, we have like 3 weeks, I think, training. So we work pretty hard. So in Balkanswap, I show already like my improvements, you know. I finished 6th there. And after that, on the training, I crashed and I broke my elbow. It was again like, I think 2 months almost off the bike. Kind of like after France, we start showing the good results, you know. I make, I think, 4 in France, and I win the qualifier race in Italy, so it was like amazing, you know, everything was going good.
Let's speak about a bit more about Majora.
Majora was actually, I think it was my best week in my life, you know, because I live in Italy for a long time, I know everybody there, I can say, you know. Like the first moto was going well, you know. In the last lap, I don't know why, but I want to pass him so bad. I tried to do everything and I have a massive crash. So maybe it was good, you know, because the people still talking about this in the internet, everywhere the video, everybody asked me the questions.
Stefan, there was a bunch of you kind of top European guys. You all moved up together this year, and you're pretty much still racing against the same guys in terms of where you're finishing.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of new guys also that have been in the MX2 class for a long time, but also the new guys, you know, moving up together, and it's nice to also battle out with them sometimes. And yeah, for sure, you always want to be in front of these guys and always look where they are at, and yeah, it's good.
How did you get the scar on your arm? It's literally the biggest one I've seen in the paddock.
Yeah, like when I go in the t-shirt, everybody asking about that, but yeah, I had it from 2008. I was in Spain training with Brian, and yeah, I actually just broke my arm and split it up, so I need a big operation in Denmark, but everything is good now with my arm, and I don't feel it anymore. But yeah, it's not so pretty, but I cannot see it myself, so it's no problem for me.
There's quite a different dynamic in terms of personality between you and Alex.
Yeah, there is. I think so, but I think we get on really good together, and we have a lot of fun together. When we even traveling to Qatar and Thailand was a really fun trip.
How would you say your personalities are different?
I don't know, like he's like the crazy in watching everybody say, but yeah, he's okay, and it's okay for me.
We obviously know you take your racing seriously.
Who said that?
However, the Alex I know likes to have a bit of fun outside of racing. Is that still the case?
The fun, for me, it's the most important thing in my life, I think, you know. If you get fun, it's even on the bike, you know, like if you have fun, you have a good results, you have speed and everything. I'm not kind of the guy who just, you know, sitting at home, do his training and do anything more, you know, like, because the life is short, you know, you need to do everything what you can.
The MX2 riders are down on the line. Here's how they qualified in the race yesterday. Hurlings didn't get the start, but he did come from behind to take a win here ahead of Christophe Charlier, and the rest will go through that in a moment. But the only rider who can prevent Jeffrey Hurlings winning the world title this weekend is Jordi Tixier. Everybody else is too far behind, so there's a lot riding on this. Jeffrey Hurlings can win the title in the first race here if he wins and Jordi Tixier, his teammate, finishes 12th or worse. But the way that both guys have been riding this wouldn't normally be the case, but hey, you never know. But if Hurlings wins the title in the second race, then with the second race with a first and an 8, Tixier must score a second and a first. That's the other scenario. Hurlings can't win the title if Tixier scores more than 10 points over Jeffrey Hurlings this weekend. So we're about to go racing here. There is Hurlings, our championship leader at the inside. Gate number 1 for him. Came from 10th in the qualifying race yesterday. As a few riders go wide in the turn, and Hurlings holds a nice tight line and comes out and leads as he goes around the outside of the Esther Honda rider Alexander Tonkov. Looks like Charlier may be in 3rd position as they drop downhill. Lupino possibly in 4th place. And Boutron in there as well. And we've got Tixier, sorry, not Tixier, but Charlier having a bit of a bumping session there. Might have been Elliot Banks-Brown getting a good start in the green and the orange. He's getting bumped wide at the bottom of the hill as well as Jeffrey Hurling, so already starting to establish himself at the head of the field. On the Red Bull KTM, disappearing there. There's a 59, Esther Honda of Tonkov. 300, Lupino is in third. Boutron, 17, is in fourth. Look like Charlier still there in fifth as we come up into this right-hander. Yes, he is. Then Elliot Banks-Brown, then Jordi Tixier in seventh. And then there's a Zuki of, was it Max Anstey? I think it might have been, you know. Yeah, Max Anstey up there, just behind Tixier. And he's got Seva Brulyakov just behind him. There's the Hurlings fans coming out of the old turn 2 onto the plateau. Already showing the flags to their hero and the colours of the world champion and all the rest of it, but he's still got a very, very long way to go. 33.5 minutes plus 2 to go as he comes over the line. And he's already 2 seconds clear of Alexander Tonkov just here at the bottom of the hill. Alex Lupino is third, Boutron is fourth, Charlier fifth, Elliot Banks-Brown is sixth, Tixier 7, Anstey 8th, Brulyakov 9, Dupre 10, Ferrandis is in 11th, Val Pocock is 12th, Dean Ferris is 13th, Raushanecker, Koldanov, Clement, Petrov, Nichols 18th, had a tough time in qualifying yesterday. Ivo Monticelli and Samuele Bernardini, they're your top 20 riders. As Bernardini goes out of 20th place. Robert Just then will move up, so too will Evan Havey, Tim Guyton, maybe Harry Kulas on the Sarkar KTM, who finds himself in 24th place, ahead of Stefan Olsen. But swapping lines from one side of the track to the other, nasty braking bump on the downside of that tabletop, bottom end of the circuit. Boutron and Charlier both connecting with it. So Charlier looks to tag and Boutron goes down. Just ran a wheel up the inside. Pretty loose there as well. So any kind of imbalance, your wheels are going to go away from you. But Charlier, he was committed. And Charlier inherits 4th place. Here's Elliot Banks-Brown though, number 44. He now finds himself in 5th position. Tixier behind him in 6th there, 9-11. The only other guy that can prevent Hurlings winning the championship this year. But Elliot Banks-Brown, HM Plant KTM UK. Trying to go at the head of the field. Got a perfect opportunity to do that, but Tixier down the inside of him, going to make an easy pass. But Banks-Brown will try to stay on the rear wheel of Tixier now. See if he can latch on and pick up some lines. He's got Max Anstey behind him, Rockstar Energy Suzuki. The yellow machine, number 14, Anstey. So we've got Hurlings, Tonkov, Lupino, Charlier. Here's the battle for 5th. Tixier, Banks-Brown, Anstey. Dupre down the inside of Brulyakov in that right-hander. So Dupre on the Monster Energy Yamaha moves up into 8th place. Boutron is in 10th position, so he was in 4th. Oh, and Anstey goes down to the top of the hill, and that is not a good place to go down. And that is not a good place to go down, and he is hurt as well. Wonder if we have another angle from that. So Anstey then, a big crash a week ago in Germany. Oh, and Banks-Brown goes down, loses the front end as well. Oh, he tagged. Oof. Shoulder, arm, wrist, all the same side for Max Anstey. He caught the side of Elliot Banks-Brown, who then he lost the front end as well at the bottom of the hill. So Banks-Brown going out of 6th, Anstey going out of 7th. And the ground looks loose and soft in places, but it is hard. Look at the stones that are there as well. Watch Banks-Brown here, just at the bottom of the hill, catches a bump, loses the ground and goes skidding to the ground. And again, another place where you don't really want to crash. He's going back. Anstey's going to go back. Andy Summers and Chris Warren looking at Max Anstey there. FIM technical guy and also starter. But Jeffrey Hurlings in command, fastest lap of the race so far, 1:48.0. He's 3.5 seconds clear of Alexander Tonkov in second on the Ester Motorsports Honda. Lupino is third on the CLS Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki. Charlier is 4th, Monster Energy Yamaha. 5th is Jordi Tixier. That's coming out of the final corner, that camera there. Maxime Dupre is in 6th place. As we look at a replay of the start, good jump from Hurlings on the inside, but a better one for Tonkov, about 10 gates over in the red, white and blue. Then he got squeezed, a few guys drifted wide. Tonkov slotted right up the inside. Boutron's in again as he rejoins the track. So Boutron then must have had a problem with the bike when he was tagged by Charlier at the end of the first lap, start of the second lap. Jason Clermont, he's in 17th place. The 817 on the Bud Rockstar Racing Kawasaki, just a couple of positions ahead of him. Jake Nichols and Tim Geiser as they head down the bottom end of the circuit. Here's Dupre and Seva Brulyakov there, 210. They're 6 and 7. Having a good ride though. We're down to Tonkov on the Esta Motorsports Honda. Satellite rider within the JTEC Honda awning. Pretty much rents the space there where he's at. Bikes get brought to the circuit for him. Not sure about the workshop facilities, whether they're all done at the same location or not, but one rider, I'm not sure about exactly what's happening, although one or two having him linked with a move to Jackie Martins next year. Who knows? Of course, being linked and actually signing, two different things, but for now he's got a job to do with Esta Motorsports Honda. Lupino. There's a guy who needs a little bit of luck. No score in Germany. 18th and a 9th in Finland and 9th in a DNF in Latvia. So the past few races for him on the CLS Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki have been in relatively short supply, but he's in 3rd at the moment. Got this guy behind him though, former European champion, Christophe Charlier, Monster Energy Yamaha, number 23 there on the blue and black machine. Look at the gap is though between Charlier in 4th and Tixier in 5th place. A little bit further down the order, there's Clermont, Monticelli. So Monticelli 18th, Kulas, Justin Boutron now in 20th place. So Boutron with a lot of work to do. We're going down the pit lane.
Mirko, we've just seen Jose come into pit lane. Was there some problems with the bike from the crash?
Yes, è caduto e penso abbia avuto un problema alla leva della frizione. Siamo riusciti a sistemarla bene meglio. Speriamo che riesca a recuperare il più possibile per questa manche.
Thanks, Mirko. Yeah, he crashed and he got apparently, it seems the clutch a little bit loose, so we hope he can recover the rhythm and finish the race.
Actually there, Team owner of Silver Action KTM, just trying to fill us in on why Jose Boutron there, number 17, who at the end of the last lap was circulating down in 20th position, why he came in for those running repairs. Seems that some of it had to do with the contact made by Charlier as he came up the inside of him. There's Mel Pocock and Dean Ferris, the two Monster Energy Yamaha riders there, 119 and 111. They're in 9th and 10th place as they drop downhill towards the finish line. Seva Brulyakov just behind them on a Garibaldi Honda, and Dylan Ferrandis making a move up the inside as he comes over the finish line jump, but he gets squeezed there by Brulyakov. Petrov going up the inside. Rauschnecker, Jake Nichols, Tim Geiser just behind them. So frantic stuff really from 8th place right the way down to around about 15th position. A little bit more serene at the head of the field though. Hurling 6 seconds clear, another fastest lap of the race for him. Lupino 3 seconds further back, and Charlier another couple of seconds adrift here in 4th. But you see just from the images how important a good start is. You make that break, you get to the front, there's Tixier all alone as well in 5th place. Taking a long look over his shoulder. This still wouldn't be good enough for Jeffrey Hurlings to be crowned world champion if the positions were to stay like this, of course. But it will certainly go in Hurlings' favour. Red Bull KTM boys down there just trying to work out what form of encouragement they can give to Tixier. But having said that, Tixier yesterday in the qualifying race only came home in 7th, started 9th, lost a few positions before he started to climb back, but never really looked comfortable on a circuit where he was crowned European 125 champion back in 2010. But with 24 minutes to go, it's Hurlings, Tonkov, Lupino, you top 3. Alexander Tonkov goes through, and right behind him is the 300 of Alessandro Lupino. These guys in their battle for 2nd position, but the guy who is on the charge is really Lupino, because 148.9 was about a half a second quicker than Tonkov that time around. That gap next to nothing really, as you can see, 2nd and a half, something like that. But Lupino looking good, looking smooth here at the moment on lap 6 on the CLS Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki, as Tonkov takes a nervous look over his shoulder on the Ester Motorsports Honda, number 59, the red machine. Ferris out at the end of pit lane, so he's remounting behind Clermont and Geiser, so in around about 17th place. So Ferris goes from 9th to 17th, so again another expensive mistake for one of our lead riders in the championship. So with 23 minutes plus 2 laps to go, Jeffrey Hurling 7.5 seconds clear of Alexander Tonkov. That's him here on the red Honda. Then it's Alessandro Lupino just behind him in 3rd, Charlier 4th, Tixier 5th, Dupre, Koldenhoff, Pocock, and now Ferrandis will be in 10th. Alexander Tonkov, 59, Ester Motorsports Honda, continues to lead the 300 of Alessandro Lupino. CLS Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki in that battle for 2nd position. Jeffrey Hurling's our championship and race leader, 9 seconds clear at the head of the field, already up and over this next hill, past pit lane, through the right-hander and down the start straight. But these two know they've got a battle on. I'm sure both will keep it clean. Alexander Tonkov will have learned from his mistake at Maggiora in Moto number 1, when he still thought he had a realistic chance of finding a way around Boutron on the last lap through the last corner, and threw it all the way. And rider and machine failed to cross the line at the same time. So what could have been an easy 3rd place resulted in him being thrown out of the results, or certainly a 10th place penalty anyway. I think he was thrown out of the results actually that day, but Lupino is just biding his time. Slight mistake there, but he's worked hard to get on the rear wheel of the Ester Motorsports Honda rider Alexander Tonkov, who's just there or thereabouts, and Lupino just chipping away. We've got a nice gap between them and Christophe Charlier, about 5 seconds on the Monster Energy Yamaha, and he's in 4th place. Then we've got Jordi Tixier on the Red Bull KTM. Another 7 seconds further back. Maxime Dupre is in 6th, Glenn Koldenhoff 7th, Mel Pocock 8th, Dylan Ferrandis 9th, Petr Petrov 10th, because we lost Dean Ferris at the end of pit lane. He went down, lost about 9 places, so he's back up again though, and in 16th position, just ahead of Harry Koulas on the Sapcar KTM, Ivan Monticelli on the Ritchie TM, Roman Fevre on the Wilbur Star GM Racing machine, and Robert Just. Jake Nichols, meanwhile, is in 12th place, just behind Sever Brilyakov and ahead of Jason Clermont and Tim Geiser. The circuit in pretty much decent condition. Hard and slick though, very loose on top. You see some of those square edge bumps, what they kind of do to the rear end of the bike. But Hurling's just up on the pegs, letting the rear wheel dance around. He's one of our onboard cameras, so too is his teammate, I think, Jordi Tixier. But in control, super smooth, Jeffrey Hurlings. Can't do any more than he's doing. Railing the outside of the berm. Seconds between him and his teammate Tixier. Tixier was never really on it yesterday in the qualifying race, unlike Jeffrey Hurlings, who came from outside the top 10 to work his way in the second halfway through the race. then found her way past Christophe Charlier to go on and win comfortably in the end. But here's Glenn Koldenoff, not seeing too much of him. He's in 7th place on the standing construct. KTM is taking a look over his shoulder. Mel Pocock just behind him on the monster in his Yamaha, but look how close Lupino is now to Tonkov. So Lupino, the Italian, on the green Kawasaki, number 300. He's in 3rd position at the moment. The guy ahead of him, 59, Alexander Tonkov, Ester Motorsports Honda. Got a good start, he's been in 2nd pretty much from the first lap. Proving just what a good start can do to your confidence. Won't want to take any risks. Not round here. He'll try and let Lupino work the outsides and square off if he has to, but that's for Lupino to work out when he gets there, when he gets close enough. If he gets close enough, he's within striking range, but he's got to try and be smart here. Try and find a way through. Down the inside though, into turn 1. Gets out of the turn early, but it's a sweeping line through for Tonkov. Charlier just there in turn 1 in the background on the monster in his Yamaha. Number 23, just losing ground on these guys, which is a surprise really, considering the performance he put in yesterday in qualifying. See the different choice of lines as well. Back end working overtime as they come out. Ooh, Lupino, nice line there. Gets out early. He's going to get out early again here. Get on the gas and try and out drag the Honda at the top of the hill. And perfect move and a good pass in the end. Ooh, a bit close though. Tonkov fighting back immediately. Certainly not letting him have it all his own way, Lupino. Lupino showing his card just a little bit too early, you could argue, and because it didn't pay off, Tonkov might just be expecting it next time around on lap 10, as we're on lap 9, coming to the end of it now. Hurling's already making his way through. He was 11 seconds clear at the end of the last lap. Oof. Another mistake there from Tonkov, getting kicked out of the seat, coming out of what used to be turn 2, but is now turn 13, just due to the location or the relocation of the start straight in the first corner. So KTM leads, Honda 2nd here. Kawasaki, the green machine, there in 3rd place with Hurlings, Tonkov and Lupino respectively. So once again, Lupino, similar lines to last time. Tonkov already looking to see Lupino working his way down the inside. Didn't happen this time around. Charlier still there or thereabouts as Lupino's girlfriend looks on nervously. This is where Tonkov gets ready to wind it up. Around the outside, a nice clean drive coming out of there. Going to go in early, out early. Tonkov looking for it, runs him wide, and then cuts her back across to thwart any challenge from Lupino. So just as we predicted a lap ago, Lupino now then having to find somewhere else, or have to be a little bit closer, or maybe a little bit more cuter in that same corner. Pull the old fakie. Look to go down the outside and then last minute switch it to the inside and then have Tonkov on the outside of it. That might be his next move. He's got to be right in the wheel tracks when he does that though, in about 3/4 of a lap time. Unless there's a mistake from Tonkov, of course, and allows 300 Lupino into that 2nd position. This is a battle here, 4 seconds. 59 and 300, Tonkov and Lupino, 2nd and 3rd. Charlier still about 7 seconds further back in 4th. And Charlier about another 7 seconds further back in 5th. Dupre 6th, Koldenoff, Pocock, Ferrandis and Petrov. Kimi Ratek, Mandalay, Yamaha. He is in 10th place. Jake Nichols, Wilbo Nastan, JM Racing KTM is 11th. Jason Clement on the Bud Rockstar Racing Kawasaki is 12th. Then we've got Tim Geiser on the Marchetti Racing KTM. Sever Brulyakov is 14th, Dean Ferris 15th, Rauschenecker is 16th, standing construct. 17th is Roman Febvre, 18th is Kulas, 19th Boutron, Ivan Monticelli is 20th. Tony Cairoli looks on from pit lane. Alexander Tonkov, 59, Ester Motorsports Honda, has felt the heat of 300. Alex Lupino for the last couple of laps, and Lupino does exactly what we thought he might do. Go to the inside this time around, and this time he makes it stick. He's got Tonkov on the outside of him at the bottom of the hill. Has to be careful that the Russian doesn't square off himself, who does try it but doesn't get it clean enough. So Lupino now into second place. And that has taken 3 laps to work that maneuver. Lupino, who was third in the second moto in Bulgaria and third overall that day, second in Italy in the second moto at Maggiora and third overall that day. Hasn't been close to the podium since that in terms of a moto finish or an actual overall finish. As we look at Koldenoff and Dupre. So Glenn Koldenoff, standing construct, scrubs his way, coming out of turn 2, dropping down the hill. He had the inside line, and if you do get there ahead of everybody else, that's the effect that it has. And this is Lupino passing Tonkov for second place, who still Tonkov just trying to keep it in there as long as possible. Here's Herlings though, he's our race leader. Came out the first turn, oh nicely done there. Wheeling and doubling his way, just using the bumps to his advantage. Just railing the corners just like he's on rails, but really has been in a class of his own this year. And there's his teammate, Jordi Tixier. Still in 5th place. Still around about 5 seconds behind Christophe Charlier. But already looking forward to next year is Jordi Tixier here, 911. Red Bull KTM Factory Racing. He believes he can win next year. So that's what he's working towards. And now just needs to get this season out of the way. It's almost inevitable that Hurley's going to pick up the championship today, but it's never over until it's over, of course. Getting ready to go down to pit lane. Here we go. Here's Amy, I think.
Martin, you're in contention for the MX3 title this year. It's a really, really, really close battle for that end result at the end of the year. So you know exactly how Jeffrey is feeling out there today, right?
Yeah. Okay. About the MX3, you know, we are so close, like top 3 guys. So it will be nice for watching. It will be nice for the people, you know, also for the Czech, because we have round in the Czech. So yeah, it will be nice. And yeah, the second question I don't heard from you. It's like about feeling today. Yeah. About feeling today. Yeah. I'm feeling a little bit sad because I cannot riding because last week I wasn't. I just had sick. You know, my body was not so ready. So because I don't start here, and also one little question is about the money. So yeah. And I joined this Grand Prix today.
Well, it's nice to see you here. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah, good to have Martin Czech here. Just 12 points between him and the leader, Clement Gertje, in the MX1 class, with a couple of 3 rounds to go, but on board here, I think, with Tixier. So Tixier 35 seconds down on his teammate. There he is, dropping down into turn 1. But Hurlings has almost 20 seconds over Alessandro Lupino. Tonkov is in 3rd, Charlier 4th, Tixier 5th. That's him we were looking at the screen. Glenn Koldenoff, standing construct KTM, is in 6th after what was an emotional podium last weekend in Germany. 7th, Maxime Dupre, Montreal Yamaha, ahead of his teammate Mel Pocock. Dylan Ferrandis, 3rd, Rockstar Racing Kawasaki, in 9th, rumoured to be on the move next year. And Petr Petrov, Kimio Raytec Vanderlei Yamaha is in 10th. Jake Nichols, the World Runner Star and JM Racing KTM, is in 11th place ahead of Jason Clement, Tim Geiser, Dean Ferris now 14th, Roman Febvre, Harry Koulas, Seba Brilyakov, Jose Boutron, Pascal Rauschneck and Ivan Monticelli. The top 20 guys. We've lost Max Anstey and Elliot Banks-Brown. Anstey jumping into the side of Elliot Banks-Brown early on, 2nd lap, 3rd lap, something like that, as they came over the hill past pit lane. He went down, nursing his right hand. And then a couple of corners later, Elliot Banks-Brown went out of 4th place as well. as he crashed out going into turn 3. A slightly off-cambered right-hander. So getting a good start, and then just getting a kick at the wrong moment, Elliot Banks-Brown, and then having to go down hard, and that's him done until Moto 2, unfortunately. But further up the field than that, though, Maxime Dupre and Mel Pocock fighting over 7th place. Pocock there at the moment, he's a lead rider in shot. There's his teammate Maxime Dupre. You'd have to fancy on these conditions. These two guys were European 250 runners last year. Mel Pocock was a winner here with a 2nd and a 1st. Geiser, who is also now in MX2, was in 13th now in the race. He was 2nd overall in the European 250 Championship race last year with a 3rd and a 2nd. Dupre, 141 there. On the Monster Gemma was 3rd with a win and a 6th. So all 3 guys stepping up to MX2. Ferrandis just there in the background, look, in the red and black on the Kawasaki, number 122. He's in 9th, he's got 3 guys ahead of him. Well, one of them actually, Bernardini, the back marker, as the brake goes down the inside of his teammate and messes him up completely, and that allows Ferrandis to go through as well. So Pocock losing 2 places in that move as Dupre came charging down the inside. So Pocock now has to regroup. Can't afford to relax too much because Petr Petrov in 10th place is going to be charging in if he's not careful. Back marker there out of the way, the 2nd of the white helmets. Probably the first one now. Petr Petrov, there he is. Closing in on Mel Pocock here, 119, who drops in 9th place in that little exchange a moment ago with Maxime Dupre. 14th round of the FIM. Oh, Boutron in again. And Boutron clearly not happy there. He's 3rd in the championship, although he's got 51 points over Charlier. It's not a catastrophe just yet, but it's can't afford to give Charlier 18 more points than you. We've not so many races left on the calendar either. But 14 laps complete. There's Dupre, Ferrandis, Pocock and Petrov. Still fighting over 7th place. Ooh, bit of a mistake there from Dupre and from the 122. After Ferrandis here on the right-hand side. Pocock coming down on the right-hand side, but I think Petrov looking to make a move at the end of the straight here. Not quite close enough. Ferrandis going to go to the inside. Nope, going to use the dirt. Going to take the security of the dirt around the outside. That's where Banks-Brown crashed out of 4th earlier on in the race. Right, Ferrandis going wide. Smoother entry, smoother approach up onto the step up, and a mistake from Dupre. He's riding the inside lines, making Ferrandis have to go the long way round. There's James Dunn. So James Dunn, HM Plant KTM UK. Also in, was just outside of the points as well after a good qualifying yesterday in 14th. This is an intense battle for 7th place, although the 2 riders looking to make a break. Got yellow flags waving coming out of that bottom corner. Is that one of our leaders as well? Can't quite see. Oh, somebody down there, I think. Well, we'll soon see, won't we? Hurlings, Lupino, Tonkov, Charlier, Tixier, they're already over the line. Koldenhoff is also through. And we've got Dupre and the guy in black there, 122 over the line now. Dylan Ferrandis, so they are your top 8. Pocock 9th, and then just off the back of the group here, just there going through, Petr Petrov, the Bulgarian, who sits 10th in the championship at the moment, 21 down on Lupino. Well, Lupino will take a bit of a gap and a points advantage going into the second race over Petrov with that 2nd position that he currently occupies at the moment. Although he's 23 seconds down on Hurlings, Lupino has actually pulled 4 seconds clear of Tonkov. Then there's a 10-second gap, so Tonkov looking at maybe getting a 3rd place finish here in this first moto. And with 4.5 minutes to go, Hurling's looking good. Lupino, Tonkov, they top three, but this battle for seventh continues with 141. Maxim Dupre and the monster on his Yamaha. Dylan Ferrandis, the 122, who's looking to make a move here in the closing stages of the race. Couple of mistakes then from Dylan Ferrandis, allowing Mel Pocock right back into contention as he looks to go back after 8th place. Petrov not closing in as much as he would like, and a nice inside line there from Pocock. And again, just trying to have confidence and faith in those tyres as he looks to turn on the loose, gravelly surface. Chasing the dirt around the outside of the old first turn though. Nicely over the rhythm section, goes down the inside. Oh, he's going to do two riders in one go. Yeah, he does Ferrandis and his teammate. But Dupre again forces his teammate Pocock wide. So no love lost there between those two. It's just like, oh, Ferrandis around the outside as Dupre gets hung up behind the back marker as they approach the finish line. So it's Hurlings, Lupino, Tonkov, Charlier, Tixier, Koldenhoff, Ferrandis, Dupre, Pocock, the top 9. As Petrov there, intent, just slotting underneath the back marker. Ferrandis mechanic urging him on. Nice move, nice work from the young French kid. He'll welcome that bit of clean air ahead of him. He's only 5 seconds down on Jordi Tixier, probably just a bit too much ground to make up on the Red Bull KTM rider in 5th place. Not in sixth position, sorry. Because we've got Koldenhoff in 6th place. Pocock looking to find a way past his teammate Dupre, again bouncing off the corners, and I can't imagine Pocock being too happy with the way this is playing out here. He's certainly got the radar on as Dupre. Steve Dixon, the team owner and team manager, keeping a close eye on what's going on here from his base back home. Maxim Dupre, 141, hanging on in that 8th place ahead of his teammate 119 Mel Pocock, who loses the front end as he tries to charge down the inside, but a lap ago. Pocock found good drive coming out of this old first turn. He got the run down the outside of Maxim Dupre and Dylan Ferrandis, past both guys at the bottom of the hill. And then as they got to the top of this, and he comes unstuck there as Petrov goes around the outside. And up the inside of Dupre as well. So caught napping then both the Monster Energy Yamahas as Petrov goes through and takes 8th place. So completely irrelevant then what we were about to talk about a moment ago, how the battle between Ferrandis, Dupre and Pocock really started to happen. Nichols has gone through on Pocock as well. So Nichols here at the bottom of the screen, number 45, Will Wonderstar JM Racing KTM. Out of nowhere, obviously following Petrov through. So Hurling's here, your race leader, 27.5 seconds clear of Alex Lupino. Going to be 3 laps to go for him because the finish line just coming out of this next sweeping left-hander, 4th gear through there. This was a nice step up yesterday. Then you can see the braking bumps on the downside, dropping in that final corner. Here's Lupino, he's 2nd. CLS Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki. Nice gap between him, about 5 seconds, 5.5 seconds. Last time around between him and Tonkov. Charlier, another 9 seconds further back. Then we've got Tixier, another 13 seconds adrift. Then Koldenhoff, and then we had that battle for 7th between Ferrandis, Petrov, Dupre, Nichols and Pocock, but Pocock just losing too many positions that on that lap. Nichols looking at trying to maybe go for 9th place. As we look at 300, Alessandro Lupino, this will be a massive boost in confidence for him. Aaron Nolte and the team as well. Be a welcome result for them. If he keeps it up on two wheels, keeps it upright. The next 3 laps. Able to concentrate and focus on his own thing, on his own race. Not having to waste and consume too much energy in the battles like we saw with 7th with Ferrandis, Dupre and Pocock before they were caught napping by Petrov and Jake Nichols. Racing Clermont only about a second behind Mel Pocock as well in 12th place. And we've got Geiser, Ferris, 14th, Febra, Kulas, Brujakov, Rauschnecker, Olsen and Monticelli. That's the gap between second and third. Top of the hill and bottom of the hill there. Just here for Alexander Tonkov on the Ester Motorsports Honda. As the graphic says, in third place. Good guy, highly entertaining. Probably picked that up from the team report if you saw it earlier at the start of the broadcast, but says he's not serious about his racing, but he is, really. Got Bader Minet working in his corner as well, who's been at Ester on the car racing background for the last few years, and obviously using their knowledge and experience, the racing workshops in terms of technology, that kind of thing. And they've got themselves a very, very quick 250cc Honda motorcycle this year. Won a qualifying race, but he needs podiums second half of the year. Well, the remaining 4 rounds that we are here: Czech Republic, Belgium, Britain and Netherlands and Lierop. Kate Nichols finding a way past Maxime Dupre. So he is now in 9th place. So the Wilbur Star GM Racing KTM rider putting in a good second half show. As Jordi Tixier on board down through the final turn, getting ready to take the 2-lap board. Still a massive margin of ground to make up to Christophe Charlier. 13 seconds, in fact. Holding off on the standing construct KTM, about 7 seconds further back, the 259. That's where we lost Anstey, just on the crest of the hill. And you see how the track changes now. As they drop down, it used to come further towards the right of the TV screen on a more slope, and then into that off-cambered right that was slightly, downhill, uphill as well on the approach. But that's all been cleared to make way for the new start line area. Been pretty interesting through there throughout the weekend in terms of the action going on through the first turn. Bit short though on the step down for Tixier. Doesn't cost him too much time though. Still Koldenov about the length of that straight behind in 6th place. Hurling's already over the line on his last lap. Making his way up to pit lane area. He's a little bit closer, but cannot celebrate just yet. I'm sure that was probably a board signal there, maybe not world champ. Look at the line there, round the outside and coming back, cutting to the inside. Used it to good effect yesterday in time training. So Jeffrey Hurling's then on his final lap in moto number 1. Best place to be, out in front. Making it look very, very easy. So just to put you in the frame, Jeffrey Hurlings can win the World Championship in this first race if he wins the first moto, but Tixier is 12th or worse. Tixier currently in 5th place at the moment, so it's not going to happen in moto number 1. Just a handful of corners left to negotiate. Missing all the bumps, got all the time in the world. He would have 36 seconds clear as he comes round to lap Samuele Bernardini. 3:21, former European Championship contender a couple of years ago when he was pipped over the line by Simone Zecchina. But the Dutch fans are here in their numbers, and they're very vocal. And so far so good for Jeffrey Hurlings. He comes out of the final turn to win his 25th race of the season, but the world title for now is still on hold. We wait for Alessandro Lupino to come through, but we also need to keep a close eye on what's going on here with Jordi Tixier. He's currently in 5th. There's Lupino, 300, CLS Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki. Good ride for the Italian, former 85cc Junior World Champion. Here he is, downhill for the final time. He takes the checkered flag at the top of the hill. That'll be a good 2nd place finish for him. And he has a realistic chance of getting on a podium here this weekend. Tonkov will wait for him to come through in third. In number 59, Esther Honda Motorsports rider. He goes through now 10 seconds behind Lupino. Charlie over the line now in fourth. And we wait for Jordi Tixier here. 2 corners for him to go. Dropping downhill for the final time, the Red Bull KTM of Jordi Tixier, who won a 125 European Championship here 3 years ago. Has to settle for 5th place in Moto number 1, but he's all but resigned himself to the fact that Herlings is going to be world champion today. Then look at the battle behind as Jose Boutron takes the Get Athena Whole Shot Award. Koldenhoff 6th, and then it was Ferrandis, Petrov, Nichols. They were 7th, 8th and 9th. With Dupre 10th and Clement got back to 11th in the end. Boutron down the inside. There's the stripe. And it was Boutron just ahead of Tonkov, although Tonkov then managed to pick it up as Boutron ran wide. So we'll soon tell us. It's very close, but yeah, half a wheel in it either side. Charlier one side and Tonkov the other. But it was Jose Boutron.
Závodění v podání 2 Rusů, ať to byl Alexander Tonkov nebo Brilakov. Bohužel Brilakov neudržel pro něho to krásné 7. místo a po pádu se propadl na 17. místo, ale i tak je to pro něho
winning comfortably over Alessandro Lupino, who won't mind about that too much. Tonkov, great ride for him in third, Charlier 4th, and that's the moment Herlings crossed the line. And Jordi Tixier came home in 5th.
Dá se říci, rozdíl v jedné třídy. Lupino bojoval s Tonkovem, nakonec Lupino 2., 3. Alexander Tonkov. I pro něho je to vyrovnání letošní sezóny, kdy bere 20 bodíků za 3. místo, které bral i na velké cíli.
Here's the official confirmation then of MX2 race 1, and it was an emphatic victory. Again, 38 seconds clear. Jeffrey Herlings over Alessandro Lupino, Alexander Tonkov 3rd, Charlier 4th, Tixier, Koldenhoff, Ferrandis, Petrov, Jake Nichols and Maxime Dupre were your top 10. Jason Clement was 11th, Roman Febvre was 12th, Noel Pocock slipped to 13th in the end. Tim Geiser was 14th, Evdeen Ferris, Harry Kulas, Seba Brilyakov, Stefan Olsen, Pascal Rauschnecker and Ivo Monticelli. They were your point scorers.
Němčiny, já se budu občerstvit a ještě připomenu, že Grand Prix Loket, 14. podnik světového šampionátu, odstartuje touto prestižní kupaturou ve 13:10. Přesně tak. Also jetzt auf Deutsch, wir haben den Souverän gesehen, und zwar der Holländer Jeffrey Herlings.
Busy weekend here at Lockett, 14th round of the FIM MX1, MX2 Motocross World Championship. A fine day to go racing as well. It's pretty hot, about 25 degrees, not as humid as it was in Germany a week ago, but not affecting this guy as he marches closer towards a 2nd consecutive world title by putting a bunch of more points in between him and his teammate Tixier. They're the only 2 that can still win the title mathematically. No change in the top 16 positions. We have to go all the way down to 21st to Jason Clement to see the first change. Right, let's go speak to our race winner. Here's Jeffrey Herlings.
Jeffrey, fantastic race, excellent start. So you just need a good motor for the second one.
Yeah, definitely. It was awesome. It's good to take a good start. I had some wheel spin, but Jose was next to me and he pushed the rest of the field outside, and I managed to get a whole shot because of that. So really pumped about that, and riding went sweet. Won with about 35 seconds or so. So looking forward to the second moto and hopefully get a second title. So that's off the back, and I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.
Excellent, and all the best in the second race.
Couldn't do any more than he did in that first moto. Jeffrey Herlings, another 25 points, win number 24 for the season. That's 53 race victories now since he burst onto the scene in 2010. Nice line, look at that. It's a style that he's had us all encapsulated and mesmerised during those 4 years that he's been in MX2. And he's about to take his second world title. But second in the race was Alessandro Lupino. Here he is.
Ali, after a really tough time in Germany last weekend, you worked Alexander Tonkov really hard for that second position, but it paid off.
Yeah, last week was really unlucky weekend for me. Everything was going wrong the last week, and yeah, it was hard, but I take a few days relax, and then I'm here, I'm ready, and I think I have a good speed now, and I know I have to be in front in the first lap for make a good race, and then the speed as well. So I'm happy to be here again, and then I'm focused for the second moto. I have to do again a good start, and then I want to say thanks to all my sponsors, to all the people believe in me, and yeah, it's nice, really nice.
We'll see you for second race.
Thank you.
Yeah, the quietly spoken Alessandro Lupino. Couldn't get any worse than he had last weekend, as he said. Just 2 DNFs for whatever reasons, a crash and a mechanical probably, but took some time off, probably stayed away from the bike as well, just tipped over on the training, and it seems to have done him a world of good as well. It was a bit of hard riding as he chased down Alexander Tonkov, but he managed to find a way through and get into second, and he held on. Here is Alexander Tonkov, the Esther Motorsports Honda rider. He was third.
Alexander Tonkov, another opportunity for you today to finish on the box. How do you feel about it?
I feel pretty good. I have a not so good jump from the gate, but after in the corner I make some passes, and I think I was like first, and after Jeffrey passed me, I tried to look his lines a little bit, but he was really fast, and I just tried to find my rhythm, you know, and everything was working good till I think like 15 minutes to go. I have no brakes anymore. I think this is hot, so I was kind of struggling to stop. But everything is good, the bike works amazing, and Esther Motorsport make a great job, and I hope second moto we can finish on the box finally.
Well, third position for you in the first race, well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, so a good third place finish in the opening moto, and Alexander Tonkov has a realistic chance of finishing on the podium here this weekend in Locken.
Komisařů je Jaroslav Souchop, vedoucím tratě je Jaroslav Paprik starší, startovním technikem.
So an opening win then for Jeffrey Hurlings with Lupino second, Tonkov third. Here's how it went down in race 1. Gate dropped, and at the inside it was Hurlings, didn't get a decent start. He said to wheelspin, Boutron, Charlier and Tonkov all duked it out for the Get Athena Whole Shot Award, and it was briefly half a wheel the Spaniard, but not for long, because already coming out of the second turn it was Hurlings from Boutron, but then he got tagged by Charlier and went down, then he came in for mechanical repairs, and then he came in again and failed to score. But there was an emphatic battle going on between Tixier and Elliot Banks-Brown and Max Anstey. They collided at the top of the hill, and that was those guys out of third and fourth place, and just 2 corners later Elliot Banks-Brown went out as well. But battle for second place was between these 2 guys, eventually Lupino finding a way past the Russian. Then the battle for 7th between Dupre, Pocock and Ferrandis left Pocock drawing the short straw. Not for the first time either, because he looked to go down the inside of his teammate Ferrandis again, but both guys bounced back, and again pushing Pocock back from 7th back to 9th. Then Ferrandis went through, and so too did Jake Nichols, but the flag fell to Jeffrey Hurlings. A winner here in Moto number 1. And in a moment, it's going to be Moto 1 for MX1. We'll see you then.
Tenis Belgie, nástroj Suzuki. Třetí byl včera v kvalifikaci Jeremy Van Horebek se startovým číslem 89, nástroj Kawasaki, a čtvrtý Kevin Strybos, startovým číslo 22 na stroji Suzuki. To je 40 nejrychlejších Belgičanů ze včerejší kvalifikace, a jako pár